So let's just settle into our meditation posture. And as usual, hang on, I'm just going to adjust the sound for a moment. There we go. Okay, I'm good now. All right. Feet, if your feet are down on the ground, make sure they're in a parallel position, flat on the floor or on top of a little cushion. Otherwise, just sit in the usual cross-legged position with something supporting your sit bones and perhaps your knees. You can put a couple of cushions underneath either knee. And your sacrum needs to be upright, so that if you imagine if your pelvic bowl had some liquid in it, it wouldn't be spilling out. Just be nice and contained. Shoulders are over the hips and the ears are aligned with the shoulders. You can imagine your spine is a string of pearls of light, stretching from the base of the spine all the way up through the crown of the head. Just imagine now someone is very gently lengthening your spine. So your crown of your head is reaching up towards the ceiling. And don't forget your hands are in the Meditation Mudra, right hand nestled in the left with the thumbs touching. If you do have any wrist issues or hand issues and this is not comfortable for you, just place your hands where it works. This is just the way they teach for this particular tradition, but there are many ways to hold your hands in meditation. And if you have another method that you've been taught, if you do something different, maybe in yoga, or as I said, if you have issues with your wrists or your hands and it's more comfortable for you to place your palms of your hands on your knees, just do what, at this level that we're at, is just whatever is comfortable for you that won't be distracting. Head is slightly tipped forward, the eyes are down, tip of the tongue on the roof of the mouth. Just relax the jaw. And let's bring our attention to the crown of your head. Welcome, Victor. Relax the scalp and the forehead and the eyes and the nose, the cheeks and the mouth. And bring your attention to the back of the head. Relax the scalp and the ears and the inner ear. And the back of the neck and the shoulders. And the back. As much as you can, release any tension in the upper thoracic area of the back, the lower back. Relax your throat and your chest and belly, arms, hands, fingers, legs, feet and toes. Just for a moment, let's bring the mind to the breath. Notice the sensation of the cool air as you're breathing in, slightly warmer as you're breathing out. If there are any external sounds in your environment, just allow them to be there. Just part of your environment. And then you have some thoughts maybe, well, you will have, arising, abiding, falling. So try not to engage with them, particularly if there was anything that happened today that was particularly strong. Just try and settle the mind. And bring to mind all the people of your life, the ones you love, your people that perhaps irritate you, you irritate them. We usually label them as enemy, or like in the outside of your trusted circle of friends. And then there's the strangers, and remember, they're all equal. Despite our feelings for each person in fitting in those different categories, they actually are all equal in their wish to be happy, their wish to avoid suffering, and their unbelievable capacity for enlightenment. So just think that we'll do this meditation this evening, this Vajrasattva practice, for the benefit of all the people of our life, and by extension all sentient beings, and for ourselves. So let's remove all the obstacles, remove our future suffering as we move along our path to enlightenment. So the first of the four opponent powers is the power of regret. Regret, as we keep saying, is not about guilt. It's about taking responsibility. So we think of something that perhaps we regret from the depths of our heart. Maybe something happened today, or yesterday, or this week. But just regret, bring to mind something so specific. And then also regret generally anything that you've done in your life or in your past lives, perhaps, to have harmed others. And the reason for regret is based on the logic of karma. Given that we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions, having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. So we cannot bear the thought of future suffering that we ourselves will experience, because we know what we're already facing. So therefore the logic is to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen into any kind of future suffering. So think, I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. And also regret all our delusions, our anger and attachment and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others, and think, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? And here we come to the power of reliance. So we turn to the Buddha, the doctor who has methods that we can use to purify. And it's not that we're needing Guru Vajrasattva to forgive us. We're purifying ourselves, we're healing ourselves by relying upon his methods. So imagine Guru Vajrasattva above the crown of your head, maybe a couple of inches above the crown of your head. And you can imagine that this is your teacher, your Lama, the person that you're relying upon, someone who inspires your mind in the Dharma, manifesting in this way, on this aspect, for your benefit. And we do like this because it makes it a little bit more personal, brings it home a little bit more. I mean, it's really hard for us to imagine a deity because we can't see them, but we can see our teachers, we can relate to them. So imagine this is the mind of that person manifesting in this way for your benefit. And he's made of blissful, radiant white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. And his face is radiant and beautiful. And he's wearing this 5-pointed crown encrusted with jewels. And he's wearing this silken robes of the Royal Indian style, also with kind of jewels on around his neck and around his ankles and wrists. And he has these lotus-like eyes. They're very peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and for all the people of your life. And his mouth is very sweet and red, and his hair is held up in a top knot. And his arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right, the left holding a bell representing wisdom. The right is holding a vajra, which represents indestructibility of compassion, and there being crossed represents the union of these two, which symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom, and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. In order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings. So in this particular practice, the beings that we have harmed and those who have harmed us. So think of someone you've harmed and try and generate compassion in your heart for them. And then maybe a little bit more difficult is the people who have harmed us. And generate compassion for them because the harm they've caused you, the distress they've caused you, is necessarily going to bring suffering for them in the future. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all beings, all these sentient beings. So the power of the remedy is the actual medicine, doing the practice of purification. And so first of all, we purify our body. And imagine Guru Vajrasattva very compassionately sending powerful white nectar, quite strongly, forcefully, coming out of a hose perhaps, from his heart, arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you and forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you have ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid, and it pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinopatita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sutame Sudam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinopatita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sutame Sudam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinopatita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sutame Sudam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinopatita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sutame Sudam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinopatita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sutame Sudam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinopatita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sutame Sudam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinopatita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sutame Sudam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva Ahom Pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think that there is no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. So the next is a purification of the speech, and remember Guru Vajrasattva again very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and forcefully enters your crown, filling your entire body, this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech. And this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So imagine imagine it's a bit the same way as when you fill a sort of a dirty glass in the sink. And as you do that, all the kind of gunk in the glass kind of floats up to the top and then overflows. So it's the same way. This is all the negativities of our speech, same thing. So you imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying and talking badly about others behind their back and getting other people to agree with you is all purified by this powerful nectar filling you and overflowing into space. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Duda Mebalwa Sutokaya Mebalwa Supokaya Mebalwa Anarakta Mebalwa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sutame Siddham Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Duda Mebalwa Sutokaya Mebalwa Supokaya Mebalwa Anarakta Mebalwa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sutame Siddham Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Duda Mebalwa Sutokaya Mebalwa Supokaya Mebalwa Anarakta Mebalwa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sutame Siddham Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Duda Mebalwa Sutokaya Mebalwa Supokaya Mebalwa Anarakta Mebalwa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sutame Siddham Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Duda Mebalwa Sutokaya Mebalwa Supokaya Mebalwa Anarakta Mebalwa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sutame Siddham Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Duda Mebalwa Sutokaya Mebalwa Supokaya Mebalwa Anarakta Mebalwa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sutame Siddham Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Duda Mebalwa Sutokaya Mebalwa Supokaya Mebalwa Anarakta Mebalwa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sutame Siddham Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe. Again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified. And think that now there's only blissful sounds come out of your mouth, and everything that anyone hears coming from you brings peace to their mind. So you benefit others with your speech. How amazing. Be incredible. So the next is the purification of the mind. And just think now, Guru Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra. And this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So it's the same as when you walk into a room and flick on a light switch. It instantly dispels the darkness. So in the same way, the moment the light from Guru Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra, the darkness of the negativity of your mind, all the attachment and neediness, grasping, anger, depression, resentment, grudges, bitterness, jealousy, all instantly dispelled with this light. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Duda Mebalwa Sutokaya Mebalwa Supokaya Mebalwa Anarakta Mebalwa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sutame Siddham Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Duda Mebalwa Sutokaya Mebalwa Supokaya Mebalwa Anarakta Mebalwa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sutame Siddham Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempe Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempe Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempe Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempe Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempe Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe. So be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are totally purified, gone. And just think that there is no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and wisdom, bliss and compassion. So next, imagine we're going to purify the imprints of the negativity of the body, speech and mind. So it's very kind of a subtle, it's just sort of what's left over, it's sort of like the residue. So this time you can imagine Guru Vajrasattva sending light and nectar pouring from his heart to your heart, or you can, if you feel that you're up for this, you can imagine the 3 previous visualizations of body, speech and mind. It's kind of a bit busy, but try if you can, otherwise just light and nectar, or even just light, whatever works. And the light comes and fills you completely and eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your mind. So it's a really nice visualization, this one. Imagine all that negative energy in our mind kind of completely disappearing. Oh, amazing. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempe Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempe Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempe Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempe Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta me bhava sawasidi me piyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tathagata vajramama mutta vajrabhava mahasamaya sattva aham pe om Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida me bhava sutokaya me bhava supakaya me bhava Anarakta me bhava sawasidi me piyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tathagata vajramame mutta vajrabhava mahasamaya sattva aham te om Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida me bhava sutokaya me bhava supakaya me bhava Anarakta me bhava sawasidi me piyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tathagata vajramame mutta vajrabhava mahasamaya sattva aham te. So now feel that you are completely purified. And there's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. And even the subtlest obscurations to omniscience have been removed. So the next is the power of resolve. And this is a really important step in the purification process. Very, very crucial. Because without a decision, without making a decision to sort of stop doing all the things that we're doing habitually that harm ourselves and others, we're just going to keep doing them. Because half the time we don't even notice what comes out of our mouth. We do, a lot of these actions are now so habitual, we just kind of blah, blah, blah with our speech. Or we habitually bite our fingernails or whatever it is we do. We come down on ourselves really hard with this kind of negative self-talk. So we just have to make a decision. Okay, it's time to stop. It's time to stop harming myself, and it's time to stop harming others. It's good to start with yourself, because once you've stopped harming yourself, it's quite likely that you're going to be a kinder, more aware person, therefore a little bit more considerate of others. It doesn't always follow that way, but it's good to start with yourself. It's a bit like when you're in the aeroplane, they say, put the oxygen mask on yourself before you put it on the child. So think of something that you would like to work on. Maybe just work on it tonight before you go to bed. 5 seconds, 30 seconds, time yourself. Think of something you'd like to refrain from. And make a determination. So day by day, maybe you can extend the amount of time. So one day start at 30 seconds, then a minute, then 5 minutes, and then before you know what, you're not doing that thing anymore so much. And a good one to start with for all of us, I think, is talking about other people in a negative way. Something to think about. And this determination is what gives us strength, courage to change. So imagine Guru Vajrasattva is really pleased and wanting to merge with your mind, melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. And just think, my Guru's body, speech and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech and mind, and my own body, speech and mind are the same thing. And LAMA YESHE calls this union oneness. And Lama Zopa Rinpoche recommends to meditate on the emptiness of the three circles. In emptiness there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma. And there is no negative karma created. So just for a moment, just place your mind in that emptiness, and perhaps thinking of all phenomena as being empty and not existing from their own side. And you can just think to yourself that perhaps things don't exist necessarily the way we think they do. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy we've created this evening, doing this purification, to all living beings, to all the people of our life, and to ourselves, thinking may all the virtuous karma I've created from this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. So His Holiness the Dalai Lama's long life prayer. The wish-granting, wish-fulfilling jewel, source of every single benefit and happiness in this world, to the incomparably kind Tenzin I beseech, may all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. For Lama Zopa Rinpoche, you uphold the subduer's moral way, who serve as the bountiful bearer of all, sustaining, preserving and spreading Manjana's victorious doctrine, who masterfully accomplishes magnificent prayers, honouring the three jewels, savour of myself and others, your disciples. Please, please live long. And for Lama Ursel, Venerable One, to you whose kindness exceeds that of all the conquerors, for those wanderers in far-off places, especially the West, mindful of your loving concern for us and intentionally descending again into a family of a far distant land, we make this request, O Lama, please, please live long. And for Geshe Shera, beloved teacher leading your students toward wisdom and compassion, explaining through exacting discernment the steps of the graduated path, you are the unequaled guide. Please live a long and stable life. So there we go. We're all done and dusted now. We can go to bed with a happy mind. Sleep well, everyone. Please stay warm for those of you who are in cold climates. And I look forward